So I, I've been kind of suffering from overwhelm and all these kinds of this whirlwind of negative emotions in the past 2 weeks, and it calls into question a lot of the way people kind of handle their emotions in this world that we live in now. And I honestly believe that most of us are living in a semi-numb state of being, a semi-emotionally numb state of being. So we're not really feeling the the complete lows and the complete highs of life. We're just kind of in this forced numbness. And even fuck, dude, I'm feeling a lot of resistance just recording this video, but I'm just gonna keep on fucking going. Yeah, so there's a lot of like forced numbness that comes from just not really feeling the emotions. And when you start doing really hard shit, like when you get into entrepreneurship, or when you get into when you start training for a marathon or anything, just like these big endeavors that take a long time, a lot of dedication, a lot of effort, day in and day out, you start to experience these abnormally high highs and these abnormally low lows, and they only seem abnormal because actually you are numbing yourself in some way, in some form, and that is actually the abnormality, is that you are numbing yourself constantly. This is how it actually should be. You should be surrendering to like the natural highs and lows in life, and that is actually the beginning. Once you actually surrender yourself to these things, then like you start to get accustomed to it. You can understand, wow, this is just a part of it, and I don't need to necessarily tie myself down to a particular state of being because I know I'm gonna fluctuate anyways, and that's how life works. What we're doing is we're skipping, and that's different from just not feeling those things. That's what you're doing, is you're repressing, you are denying the emotional experience, right? The human emotional experience. And that's different from understanding that it's there, and feeling through these things, and then eventually moving beyond that, right? Because you're realizing, oh, this is just something that's within me, and it is like, yeah, it's just something within me. But when you do the other way, you're saying that this isn't, you know in me. And I know it's kind of hard to explain, and it's honestly, for me, it's even still kind of difficult to understand, which is why I suck explaining it, because I still lack the understanding. And I don't mean just like an intellectual understanding, but I mean like the intuitive understanding that you feel, like in that permeates your body versus like your mind. And there's a reason why a lot of these entrepreneurs that you see, they kind of just end up being kind of like these semi philosophers on life, and self improvement and all these different topics. I mean, even Alex Ramosi gives like relationship advice and just how to deal with your emotions and all that sort of stuff. And that's just kind of the game, man. That is the game, because you're at the front. You're getting front row tickets to your own life. Finally, for once, don't be in the back row at the top of the fucking movie theater for your own damn life, man. You got to get in the front row, right? Like you want that Dolby Digital, when you're watching a movie, right? Like you want that Dolby Digital IMAX. Like you want your ears to be fucking blasted out of the room, right? Like I want my eardrums popping, and you want to take that same approach to life, right? You want to be a full participant in your life, because if you're not, the more you cede control of your life to forces that are completely out of your control, the more miserable you're going to be. And that's ironic. Isn't that ironic? You think that the more you can blame other people for the miseries in your life, the more miserable you actually end up being. And that might sound paradoxical, but there's no such thing really as paradoxes. They don't really exist in reality. There's just only wrinkles in our understanding of reality. So when you see a paradox like that, what you're really seeing is that there is some disconnect between something in your beliefs and reality itself. So what the fuck do we do? I mean, if you're in an emotionally numb state, I think the first thing that you can really start doing for yourself, honestly, is following your curiosity. Is start looking at like what are the things as a kid that you just really loved reading about or doing or learning or whatever that is, and start doing that and start going after it. And you don't have to. I'm not saying you have to teach yourself physics or anything, but like literally just 15 to 30 minutes a day, or fuck man, a week. If you can't spare 15 minutes a week for that, then I don't know what the fuck you're doing. But if you can do 15 or 30 minutes just dedicated towards that, like that, you will begin to start seeing again, oh shit, this is that kind of that wonder and that awe of the world that I used to have as a child. But it's not never really gone. It's never really gone. It's just kind of put under all this crap that school, society, and whatever else like puts on you. Kids, they go into the school system as these bright big balls of energy and with vitality and all these sorts of things, and then they come out as soulless drones. And I don't know, I don't want to say that's on purpose, but what the school system does is that it inevitably creates this soulless drone look as a byproduct. That's what it does. Period. It doesn't. I mean, you can ask anyone, ask any American, and if you think, ask them if they think that their education system was adequate. Ask them if they were satisfied with their education. Chances are most people are not going to say are going to say no. And I believe that the more like educated you are, the more likely you are to say otherwise. If you're a PhD, you probably are satisfied with your education, but most people don't have PhDs, and that's a problem because you shouldn't have to get to a postgraduate level of education to to be equipped with the necessary school skills to navigate the real world. What's the first thing they tell you when you graduate high school? Welcome to the real world. As if you mean I wasted all these 12 fucking years to not be prepared for the real world? Are you fucking kidding me? And this is a topic that's sore. Like it actually genuinely makes me angry. And that's why like one of my endeavors is going to be one day is to change education. Whatever that's going to look like. I'm not really sure what that's going to look like yet because I still need to get my shit in order. Right? But I know for a damn fact that my learnings, all the most important things I learned were outside of the school system once I was able to get out of it. And maybe that is hindsight talking. Maybe one day when I reflect, maybe there are some very important things that I picked up in education. And yeah, there are. But as it is right now, at least from the K through 12, for most people, is pretty much hostile to the human psyche. It goes against all like common principles of like actually how to learn. And so you have these universities that are like learn by doing, as if it's some sort of like innovative new way of learning. Bro, that's just fucking learning. We've become the school system has become so divorced from reality, in my opinion, that you honestly the whole thing just needs to change. And everybody fucking agrees. Like most people are gonna say the school system fucking sucks. So then why aren't we doing anything about it? Because it hasn't hurt enough yet. Simply put, we haven't seen it be so terrible. And my concern is that these institutions, from the government, from the education system to whatever, like I'm not sure if they're inherently just ill equipped to deal with these hyper hyperbolic speed light speed changes that go on in technology, and these new kind of paradigms are just being created every single fucking year at this point. If hell, we've had AI for as we know it, like popular AI, ChatGPT, for it hasn't really even it's barely been like it hasn't even been 2 years. Yeah, it's felt like five, and it feels like every week at this point some new crazy shit's coming out. I mean, we are seeing a fracturing of our institutions, and we can see that in the disarray that you see between the right and the left. They're unable to keep up with all the crazy shit that's happening. And to be quite honest with you, I don't know what the solution is. I don't know, but those are just my ramblings.